Take one. As we examined last Sunday in our gospel text, Mark chapter 9, we have this great story of a man who is in dire need of Jesus' help and healing. But to set the tone for it, you need to know the full context, because just prior to it was the great transfiguration scene, where Peter, James, and John are on the mountain and see Jesus in his glory. And here they come off the mountain and they see this scene with a crowd gathering the other disciples. A son who seems to be suicidal, a father who is quite desperate, and a whole bunch of disciples who are a disappointment. Well, as you would think that Peter, James, and John are coming with great joy after seeing Jesus in his glory and thinking, okay, finally the kingdom is coming around. But they come down and witness this scene, and things are not running smoothly. In fact, you might want to say that the ministry seems to be approaching a crisis point. Too often as we read this text, we just point to the boy who is thrashing and foaming at the mouth and clenching his teeth and becoming very rigid. We call it epilepsy. But the problem with that is, in our day and age, we could say, well, you know what? We can take care of that with the right medication and the right treatment. It's something within our own power. But if you look and examine the text closely, when the Spirit sees Jesus, he causes the boy into that fit. So we need to call this what it is. And as we live in our lives today, as we live in the church, as we live in the world, we need to call things what they are. And indeed, it's an evil spirit. And as we face the evil spirits in the world today, they are intruding upon the church. They are evil spirits that want to control the situation. They are evil spirits that calculate with a lasting hatred. And not only their lasting hatred, but they want to infiltrate that lasting hatred among the people of God. And finally, they call into question the ability to act. Just like they did in that story where the father said, if you can, even to Jesus, doubting whether that could happen. But we see, as we see this in the church today with these evil spirits that want to control the situation and calculate with a lasting hatred and call into question our ability to act as faithful people of God. We see that we do have a definite expectation of the way faith should work and the way that it should be lived out. But in each and every situation, I know as a pastor and as I see not only in my own life, but the people that work with me, we are faced with limitations. We are faced with inadequacies. We are faced with times when we just throw up our hands and go, I can't any longer. And so we tend to become overwhelmed by the situation. You and I find ourselves in a place where the occurrence, the happening, seems to be beyond self. It comes when we have flawed information. Maybe we don't have all of it. Maybe what we do have we've misunderstood. And so it becomes flawed and it affects our thinking. And then, of course, we make faulty attempts in the church where we try to do something that we think is the right and godly thing to do, but we're trying to do it under our own power. And it just falls flat on its face. And anytime you put flawed information together with faulty attempts, you end up with a faith problem. And that faith problem is doubt. Indeed, doubt is the face of this faithless generation. That's the first take. Next, take two.